let's talk about Nintendo. Nintendo, my God. Okay, so basically, with all the news about their digital showcase and whatnot, what does Nintendo need to do? I mean, we've all pretty much kind of touched on Nintendo earlier. You know what we want to see them do and whatnot. But what is it that you guys personally want to see specifically happen at this E3? You know, for Nintendo, whether it's like a new game announcement or something that they're going to do specifically for the Wii U or even the 3DS at this point. So, Andre, tell me, Nintendo at E3 this year. What's going on?
What I want to see personally is a 199 SKU with Mario U and Super Luigi U, and I want Ubisoft to come out and show the Watch Dogs for Wii U. What they're adding to it is going to be different, and I just want to see more of the games. That's basically it. I mean, if you like I said, if you know somebody if you've played, Need for Speed Most Wanted U, you know that's running on the PC version. It's the best version of the game out of all the consoles. Assassin's Creed 4, you can, most of the versions of any game that's come out on the Wii U, the best version is on that system. So, you can ask anybody. It's whatever. I just want to see more games. That's basically it. That's what Nintendo needs to concentrate on, to get more systems out there. Price drop will help. Just show people why you need to get one and why it's worth it.
I agree. I mean, I think the big thing obviously is
I have it. I love it. I tell everybody it's worth getting. I think it is.
I think it's important that for them this year. I think that they really need to drop the price. I think get people more enticed about it. Show us a lot of games. I think they really need to show games at this point. Outside of, we already know Smash Bros is coming, Mario Kart 8 right around the corner, like that. They need to show games that are going to come out the end of this year into next year that are really going to get people excited. People have been craving, obviously, for the Nintendo first parties. They're big things, including.
And one more thing they need to touch on is they really need to get the indie devs on their side.
Oh yeah, I think that they need more of the third parties. I think they really
need to revamp. They need to get that eShop. They need to get that eShop full of games.
What they need to do is for the eShop, for the Virtual Console, they really need to put a lot of their big classics on the Wii U eShop or the Wii U Virtual Console. Why aren't there N64 and GameCube games on there? Why can't we just download some of those big classics that are Nintendo first party on there like that? The people have been craving this for a long time now. At this point, like obviously the things like the online infrastructure for a lot of games, especially for games that are going to be big like Mario Kart 8 and Smash Brothers, needs to be really stabilized. It needs to be really on point at this, in this time frame. But also, again, they need to show us games. They need to show us titles that people have been clamoring for. Get us excited to go out and get this console, and don't do like what I felt that they did wrong with Smash Brothers. Like obviously having it on both platforms is cool. But having the 3DS version come out before the Wii U version, I think was again kiss of death for the Wii U.
Well, I know they are actually going after tournament players. They are trying to get more fighting game fans actually back because Smash Brothers is still Smash Brothers Melee is still one of the few Nintendo games that are on still in fighting game tournaments. So they know that that's a big part of it. So they're like, okay, we need to get the fighting game community on our side so we'll know this can help move consoles. So that's a good thing they're doing.
That's cool. But the way I'm looking at it is now, like, okay, what is it that's going to get the Wii U console out there in people's houses? What's going to get people excited for this thing to buy it? And I think that releasing the 3DS version of Smash Brothers before Wii U like that, especially so long, that good couple month gap like that, I think again it's going to work against the consoles, for the most part, especially going into the fourth quarter of the season. Because again, most people that own a 3DS, if they even have a Wii U, are going to play Smash Bros on their 3DS. They're going to be kind of burned out on it at this point, and I think that they really need to clarify a lot more exclusive content for that version of the game. But even besides all of that, I think the big thing again is just other games, other properties that people want to see. People have been dying for a game, for a Metroid game, from Nintendo for the longest time. Other things, Star Fox, all these franchises.
I think Retro is going to have a surprise for people at E3.
If they're working on another Donkey Kong game, I think people are going to flip tables at E3.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not Donkey Kong. It's not Donkey Kong. Retro is going to come with some heat.
I really do. I hope either if it's Metroid, if it's Star Fox, or any other dormant Nintendo franchise that hasn't been around in a very long time, they need to really kind of get titles to get people excited that to justify, okay, this is what you're going to go get a Wii U console for. It's not going to be, again, all the other Mario games or all the other games that you've seen at this point. This is what's really going to kind of cater to the Nintendo faithful. This is what's going to be the reason it's kind of, okay, go grab this console. This is what you're going to play with the tablet controller. But again, I think that in combination with a price drop, to get the console a little bit lower, and then maybe also release more bundles. I think the bundles are really a good idea, especially like what you were talking about with Super Luigi U or Super Mario 3D World. Bundles like that, those are really good for people to get enticed to buy this console.
Exactly.
But what about the rest of you guys?
Well, what I would do if I was Reggie, somebody said this earlier. They mentioned a "We sorry."
Oh yeah, we're sorry.
No, seriously, I would go that route because, like, I mean, the Wii U came out. Yeah, it was cool for like a month, and then it got basically crushed by everyone else. So, what I would do is just basically erase that, come with a whole new console. I would meet with like Nvidia or one of them, probably Nvidia, because everybody else went AMD. So I'd do Nvidia, and I'd have like 16 gig of RAM. You know what I mean? In my machine, I would come with a next gen Mega Man, a next gen what's the game?
Zelda.
Zelda.
By the way,
what I would do to get the hardcore gamers, I would go and basically meet with Konami and get Contra and make it a next gen crazy battle looking game. You know what I mean? Because I would skip this gen and just hit them with something brand new, fresh, and something more powerful than what's out now. Because you can't compete with what's going on now. You're not going to catch up. So just skip that, come with something brand new, and wipe the whole slate with all of them. That's what I would do, because they have the money. You can't tell me they don't have money. They got crazy bread over there. So I wouldn't even try to box with what's going on now. I'd leave them in that ring and create my own ring. That's what I would do.
So let me ask you guys this, okay? Because we got games besides Smash Bros., besides Mario Kart or whatnot. We still got Bayonetta 2 over the horizon. We still got other games that have been kind of like talked about here and there that are going to be coming down the line on top of whatever else they're possibly going to announce. Because apparently, from that little kind of like Reginator or Mecha or Regimech or Regipizamech video that they did, that little silly video, that they said in their thing that there are going to be new game announcements that are going to be happening out of this year's E3. So what is it exactly, what kind of games do you guys want to see from them that's going to make a big splash?
I'd just like to say something real fast. I believe that video in and of itself was a teaser, and I think that indicates that there will be a Metroid reveal at E3. Only because...
Some people say in that video, I'm sorry to cut you off, some people say in that video the music was actually from The Legend of Zelda. But for me, when I listened to it, I kind of got a feel from either Fire Emblem and also Kid Icarus. Because remember, we still don't know anything about Shin Megami Tensei across Fire Emblem. Remember, that game's still in development, apparently.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rich.
Oh no! I was just saying. I do believe you will hear about a Metroid. You will hear about a Metroid. Zelda, we need an update on Zelda for sure.
Apparently there's a new Zelda being made. Apparently, besides the Zelda Gaiden one that's like Dynasty Warriors. Well, not,
the Wii U Zelda is coming. That's coming.
Yeah, that's it. I swear, in actuality, this is what they really need. They need a big announcement like that to get everybody really excited and have something coming out this year. I think that Zelda Gaiden game, the Dynasty Warriors Zelda, is what we're going to call it from now on. I think that's coming out this year, at the end of this year. I really do. Because what else can they possibly get people excited for the holiday season besides Smash Brothers? There's got to be other stuff, outside of it.
Announced. It has to be something announced.
They're going to announce a Star Fox game.
It would be sweet. That's what they need. I think that's what people have been clamoring for. But these are franchises that people have wanted for a very long time.
Yeah. There's a bunch of stuff. There's a bunch of stuff rumored from Japan, but you never know what's going to happen. But it's going to be interesting.
Okay, but then let me ask you this though. Besides Wii U, which I think out of for Nintendo, that's like the biggest thing that needs to be worked on the most. What about 3DS? Because keep in mind, 3DS is running good right now. 3DS is running really high, Everybody and their mother has a 3DS at this point. What more can they possibly do with that handheld, other than maybe release more games on the eShop and the Virtual Console?
A new Metroid that's going to tie in with the Metroid for the Wii U.
In the traditional style, that'd be sweet.
No, actually, yeah, it'll probably be the traditional. I don't know. I think it's whichever style. If they do a 2D style, whichever way, whether they do a first-person shooter or a 2D style, it's going to coincide with that. I think they're going to do a lot more of the the games are going to match. They're going to coincide with the Wii U versions. Just that way that you'll have content for both consoles that'll interact with each other.
In my opinion,
do you guys? What's up, Gary?
I think they need to stop doing that because they're taking away value from the Wii U. To be honest, like if they
agree.
That same game on 3DS, more people have a 3DS, so they'll just buy that version instead of buying the Wii U to play that game.
I agree.
But I mean, if you have let's say like a Smash Brothers, that you have a character that you have the 3DS version and you have the Wii U version, but if you have the Wii U version of the game, you can get a character that's only from the 3DS version on your Wii U.
It's not like that for Smash Brothers. The rosters.
I know. Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that's like if they do that in the future, like for something that's coming up in the future, you think that might be like a small incentive to do something?
They already said they're not going to do that. I think the only thing exclusive between the two versions of Smash Bros. Is the levels, but also the mode that's for the 3DS version, that little adventure mode type of thing. But on top of that, I think that to go back to Gary's point about not doing that with certain games, because keep in mind Mario Kart 8's coming out, right? And Mario Kart 7 did pretty damn well on the 3DS. Like that, I wouldn't be surprised that maybe Nintendo thought about maybe releasing a version of Mario Kart 8 for the 3DS, but I think that will work against the Wii U. Or work to their disadvantage. Like that, I think that you should keep different games on different platforms separate from each other. I don't think they should do anything what they did with Smash Bros. At this point, the same thing with any other games. Like it would be cool to have an idea, kind of like what Metroid Fusion and I think it was Metroid Prime 1 or Metroid Prime 2.
Yeah, Metroid Prime 1.
Connectivity. I think that's cool, but keep in mind those were still two separate games. You get two totally different experiences with them, not the same core experience on both platforms, which I think is be better. But let me ask you guys. Icon Nintendo. What do you think?
What's
about
up, bro?
What do you think about it?
Well, I mean, like I said, like their handhelds, they we all know they're the king of handhelds. You know what I mean? I honestly think they should just basically wipe out what they did before, keep the handheld because they're leading in that, and just come fresh and hit them with games because that's what the Wii U is lacking. Because from I bought my Wii U with 5 launch titles, it has dust on it. There's nothing drawing me over there. You know what I mean? All these games they promised, like Bayonetta 2 and all these other games, it's like, okay, that was like a year and a half ago and they're still not here yet. You know what I mean? So it's like, why even turn the system on? They need to create that hype again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hate to say it, man, but I agree with Icon, man. I think they just need to write off that console completely. In my opinion,
that's an option.
Seriously, man.
I want them.
I think it's a viable option.
I mean, we're human. We all make mistakes. That was a mistake. Write it off and come again. That's all.
Yeah, I want.
Nobody's gonna be mad. And also, what you could do is, what you could do is say they come with a new console that's $399, with those specs I was telling you about, and then have like a bonus where if you have a Wii U, you can get like a $200 trade-in bonus or something towards it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something to get people hyped. Okay.
Would you go with traditional controls or like a gamepad?
I mean, the gamepad is cool because I played with it a couple times and it's actually cool. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just that it's not the norm.
You just want the system. You just want the system to compete exactly with the Xbox One and PS4.
No, I actually, like I said, I want it better. Like I said, I want it better than them. You know what I mean? That's why I said 16 gig of RAM and NVIDIA card or whatever. Go that route.
And see, this is the only argument I have with. I got a lot of friends of mine that say that they need to scrap it and they need to go on. But I'm like, but my thing is, it came out like a year before Xbox One and PS4, so you can't really expect it to compete spec for spec or even be better. So and that's my whole argument about it's not next gen. Yeah, it is. It's next gen.
Keep in mind,
you can't say it's not next gen. I don't care what you say. You can't say it's not. It is. But it's not as powerful as the other consoles, but it's still next gen. No matter what you say, debate it all you want. You can't say it. But
that's what I'm saying, though. What I'm saying is that their focus, like their core.
Their focus has been all over the place. Like when they first launched it, they didn't even say it was a new console, and that was their first mistake.
Exactly.
That was their whole marketing thing from get-go was wrong. I was like, why didn't you even say it was a new console? Just come out and say it's a new console. Don't just go, oh, it's a gamepad. I still had people a year ago who were talking about, well, when do I get that new Wii add-on? It's not a new Wii add-on. It's a new console. What? You mean I gotta buy a new? I'm like, come on, really? And I had people. These are gamers. They were asking me that. I'm like, dude, come on, man, seriously? It's a new console. Get up and read something.
Yeah, it's not just about the specs. Like, they have greater problems. Like, they have to address the third-party issue.
Right.
That's a big time. They really do.
Not only that, but
they've had problems with that from they've had problems with that from way back. So, I mean,
really fix their online as well.
Yeah. I agree.
They're late to the party with that.
I agree completely.
Nintendo's number one problem, besides anything that they're doing, their number one problem is their demographic. These people have done their pad already. All the games are on your cell phone now. You see what I'm saying? Games no more. They need real hardcore games. That's what they need.
I think the hardcore for Nintendo is a little bit different than what the hardcore is for the other two platforms. I think, again, the biggest issues and the reason why they have the most work for themselves going into this E3 is because they need that third-party support. They need to get devs excited to actually develop for the Wii U, because that's the biggest problem. A lot of people complain about there's no games, but there's no games that are getting people excited other than the Nintendo first parties, which are really only going to cater to the people that just understand that ecosystem or just hardcore into the Nintendo, the Nintendo spectrum. On top of that, they need to have their online infrastructure really on point. They need to get that virtual console really populated with a lot of popular games and games that people are going to want to buy over and over again like that. And they need to show exclusive games that are going to get people excited other than what's already announced at this point. They need to go into the well of their IPs, bring it back from the grave, and actually develop some next-gen stuff, or really kind of new generation type of stuff for those IPs and really get people excited. Because that's what's going to get people buying this console, because the biggest ploy or the biggest kind of pitch for any sort of Nintendo platform is that their consoles, their exclusives are why you buy the platform. So I think they really, besides Mario, which is what they've clearly done, and obviously besides Zelda, which is with the Dynasty Warriors Zelda game or whatever they're developing now, they need to put more of those actual franchises on this platform to actually get people, okay, these are all the different types of exclusive games you can play only on this platform. That's what's going to get people buying Wii U like that. And that's what's going to help them do better at E3. That's what's going to make everybody excited for them.
I agree.
But with that said, let's hear from Ed and Kat. Ed, do you have anything to say about Nintendo at E3 this year?
Just one thing.
Oh, there you go.
No, there you
go. I want to see a Pokemon Snap on the Wii U, because I feel like that gamepad would lend itself well to that type of gameplay.
That could be ideal.
But that would never happen. But I'm just saying.
But Kat, what were you gonna say about Nintendo?
I mean, well, I know you guys. I'm not sure if you went over, because I left briefly. You went over the rumor of the IGN rumor or not, but they are releasing some hardware for the Nintendo, and it's coming from multiple sources that they're definitely going to be announcing some hardware at E3. Now, I like the idea of them scrapping everything and starting over, like Icon was saying. Just make it fully backwards compatible and you're good to go. Nobody loses at that point. Well, Wii U, Wii U owners lose, but you can still play the games no matter what system you have. No. You can still play the games if you get the newer system. I think that they should just go for that. I hope that's what they're going for. We all know that's not going to be the case, but we can dream. I think they need to just come out with really good games, man. I mean, I get the sense that people don't hate Nintendo, man. People really don't. Nintendo's not hated. Like, Microsoft is hated. Nintendo's not hated. People love this. People want to see Nintendo win. People want to see Microsoft lose. So I think those are stark differences. Like, even though Nintendo is having struggles right now, if they were to just come out with the games that people want and people adore, they will win. You know, and, you know, they're a like company. I mean, they got a brand. They got the most powerful brand in gaming.
One of the most iconic.
You know what I mean? Like,
One of the most iconic.
huh?
I said one of the most iconic.
Yeah, they are the most iconic. You know what I mean? Like, not even just one of them. I would just place them at the top as far as brand and gaming is concerned. They're number one. You know, gaming and Nintendo, they go hand in hand. You know, and maybe PlayStation comes right after that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I think people want to see Nintendo win. They come out with these games that people want, what gamers want. They have no choice right now. They have no other option but to come out with what people want. They just got to stop being dickheads and thinking that they know the market. You know, even the Nintendo president was saying, well, I made some mistakes thinking I knew what the people want. No, really? You know what I mean?
That was a statement of sense, honestly.
That showed me that they still have a very old school culture at Nintendo where they're not making decisions based on what the gamers want, but based on what the CEOs and the executives feel is
That's the
necessary.
traditional Japanese mindset. That's that traditional Japanese mindset.
They got to get rid of that shit. You know, he even said it. I made some mistakes. Well, at E3, we'll figure out if he learned from them or not. That's all.
Very true. Very, very, very true. No.
But I mean, down to what you were saying before, JJ, about the third party. I mean, a third party company is not really gonna jump to make a game for a system that's, for one, not selling.
Exactly.
Two, it's the least powerful system out there. So your game is not gonna run the best on that system. You see what I'm saying?
It's the install base. It's the same problem that the Vita is still having at this point, is that the install base isn't there. So if there aren't consoles in people's homes, why would any third-party developer want to develop a game that put onto their platform? Like that doesn't. And the thing is, a lot of people give Nintendo a lot of crap for picking up Bayonetta 2, which I think was a smart move for them, because people that are fans of that franchise are going to have to pick up a Wii U in order to pick up that game, even though they complain and moan and whatnot. And that game would not be getting made if it wasn't for Nintendo. But in all honesty, I think it comes down at this point is that they need to go back into their own first-party IPs and get people excited to pick up the console, because that's going to get the install base out there, and then the third-party companies are going to be like, okay, so now there's more consoles out there in people's homes, so we can viably make money on this actual game that we can actually develop for this console.
You know, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just make a prediction that's wild. Even though I know it might not be true. Their new hardware is probably going to have something to do with the iPhone.
That would suck if you think about it. I
just got a feeling, man. I just got a feeling.
I don't think so. Something that might have relevance to it, because they have said it. Like I think it's them or somebody else said that they kind of compete a little bit much more with Apple than anything else or anyone else at that point. Something like that. So somebody made a statement like that. That'd be crazy, though. Honestly.
Probably got an iPhone.
I do think they need to actually get away from the console. I think if they went completely mobile and handheld, that would be a great move for them. Or if they just became a publisher, because their IPs are worth more than any hardware.
I don't think that'll happen.
I don't think I would even go for that. I don't even entertain that thought.
They'll have three. They would have to have like 3 or 4 failure consoles, kind of like Wii U, like worse than Wii U, for that to happen. Honestly, because Nintendo's not big.
I mean, that's a fair. I mean, look how much IP that Sega owns that we will never ever see again.
Sega could go back just 15 years and have 50 games come out, but they won't do it. Sega has to be the laziest company on earth right now. I'm sorry.
Here's the thing, because the stuff they've been doing with Nintendo, because they had Sonic Lost World exclusive to Nintendo. Then, they got Bayonetta 2 coming out on Wii U and whatnot.
But my point is, if Nintendo was to go the whole software route, that's over, man. Because look, all the games we're going to see.
If that happens, we are all
That's it. We
If
never
we
seen
that
that.
happens, everybody in the industry is going to suffer for that because we need Nintendo. We need a strong Nintendo to have it as an alternative to the other two platforms. Like,
We
Do
need
we?
the balance. We need the
I-
balance. We need
Yeah,
the
we
balance,
do.
man. We need the
I'm
balance.
gonna say something mad unsafe, man. I don't think we do.
I think we do.
I
think
don't
you're
think
right.
we need Nintendo,
Yo,
man.
you know
We need
how
that
much,
balance,
I'm
man.
gonna
We do.
be, yo,
yo, do you know
be
how much
honest
money
with you.
Nintendo would
Huh?
make if Pokemon was on iPhone and Android, if Mario was on all those other platforms? Do you know how much money they would make? Like, they would make more than Sony and Microsoft.
It wouldn't. The thing about it is, it wouldn't. I don't know. It wouldn't feel. How would? I mean, it wouldn't feel the same. Would you? Would you? Would you go out and buy God of War if it was on iPhone?
See, but that's the thing. Change
But
always
it's just-
feels weird
that's
in the
different.
beginning. I mean,
I don't know, man. That's
in the
Actually,
beginning,
it
you're gonna feel a little woozy, but after a while, you're gonna get used to it, man.
It'll be a very monotonous industry.
that's a bitter pill. That's a bitter pill to swallow, man. I don't know
Look
about
at it
that.
this way. Look at it this way, guys. Okay, because this is the reason why we need Nintendo. If we lost Nintendo, like if there was no Nintendo platform at all. Okay, I'm not talking about the handhelds. Not talking about 3DS and PlayStation 3. I'm talking about home consoles. If there was no Nintendo console at this point, okay, they just totally was like, you know what, we're done. Like that, it would be a very monotonous industry because look at the two platforms that are competing with each other like that. If the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, which are built almost very similar, like that, with very similar games coming out on both platforms besides exclusives.
It'd be the driest gaming hit. Oh
It'd
my
be very
god.
bland. It'd be
It'd be
very
a waste.
bland, and there would be a lot less incentive to do some sort of competition, even though it's
Okay.
It'd be like WCW versus WWE.
Think about the last game. Think about the last system Nintendo had that didn't sell that well. Let's go back to the
Virtual Boy.
N64.
Hold on, that didn't sell well.
Let's not count the Virtual Boy. N64. All right. Or GameCube. We can go GameCube.
Well, GameCube was good, but it didn't sell like hotcakes.
We can go GameCube or N64. If they just decided to stop then, you would not have Kinect, you would not have Move, you would not have none of the innovation that's out right now. You probably wouldn't even have half of the motion.
You wouldn't have PlayStation All Stars.
You wouldn't have PlayStation.
I mean,
You wouldn't have
I'm
half of this
talking
crap.
about then, though. I mean, things are different now. Like that.
No. I'm just saying though. But I mean,
The
Nintendo
Wii
has been the innovator for gaming for years. And if they were just happened to just stop making consoles, just imagine what they could do in the future if they'd stop. Just imagine what gaming would be like in the future if something happened like that. I mean, I'm just looking at it like that. It's just like you got to keep that innovation going, and it's I mean, yeah, a lot of people hate on the gamepad and all that stuff, but
I don't actually think they're gonna just become a publisher. I'm just saying that they should do that, but I don't think they will. But what I do think they should do is they should make, because clearly, their strength right now is the handheld market. So what I think they should do is make another 3DS, and or just I don't know, bring out a new model of the current 3DS, but make it so it's you can play it with your TV or something, so you can play it on the go and you can play it on your TV, and then just make software for that. Then they have they cover both bases with that. So if they made that kind of device where it's handheld but it hooks up to your TV, then they could cover both bases. So
I get it. I mean, I get what you're saying. I get what everybody's saying about it. I get I get the new console. I get all that. I get it. It's just I don't know. Like I said, I like the Wii U. I have no problem with it. I enjoy it. So I mean, when I get my Xbox and PS4, I might feel the same way you guys are. But like I said, I like it. But
Well, all in all, though, Nintendo's got a lot of work to do at this year's E3. They got a lot to prove. Out of the big three, I think we could all pretty much in consensus say they got the most to prove.